Hello, 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 and welcome to the 14 Eagles Thursday night webinar slash conference call. I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is Brian Frazier. I am one of the facilitators of 14 Eagles. Greg is the other facilitator. He won't be here today. He had a prior engagement, and so, but we'll go ahead and get started. Like to start off first, as always. This call is being recorded, so you won't miss anything. Um, I like to always start off with the updates. As we all know that our platform is down for now. We're having some glitches taken care of. The developers are working on getting everything rectified, and they informed me last night that it may take a minute. They have to do a lot of additional coding to correct the issue, and so we just ask that we demonstrate a little patience here. Our site was up for a little while, and we had people coming in, and everything was working fairly smoothly. But we found the glitch in the system, and so we wanted to take care of that before things went any further and created any disruption in the process. So in doing that, we had to cut off the registration to the platform, to the 14 Eagles platform for now, while that's being rectified. And so they're working diligently on that, and hopefully they can get it done very, very soon. But things like that, we want to make sure that it's straight before we carry on, because we're trying to keep the glitches down to a minimum. So when we start really building this community up, and we have a large community, well, we want to make sure those type of things won't prop back up again. So we want to make sure everything is good to go for the future. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get started. 14 Eagles. 14 Eagles has been around for a while now. We've kind of revamped the 14 Eagles program. We've got new software on the platform now, and we have a new community website, as you can see on the screen if you're on the computer. We've given it a kind of an overhaul, so to speak. And so over the years, we have developed a huge database in 14 Eagles. 14 Eagles has helped a lot of people in the past, and what we wanted to do with 14 Eagles is we wanted to take it to a whole new level. And so we've created a campaign to campaign to the 14 Eagles members, the past, present, and future 14 Eagles members. And we've partnered with another company called FundMe 24/7. And in doing that, by us coming together, we feel that we have a program that will change the industry, change the way things are done. It's going to change a lot of people's lives. And in doing that, we have to change a lot of people's minds as well. And the reason why I say that is because our concept is something completely different than what people are used to. And so it's going to take a little educating people. It's going to take a little trying to change people's consciousness somewhat, so they can look at what we're doing in another light, from another perspective. Because they may think that we're something that we're not. And so that's why we have to educate people and give them the proper information that they need to have in order to make an intelligent decision about what we do here at 14 Eagles and FundMe 24/7. Because we really feel that we're doing something that has never been done before, and the way that we're doing it. And so that alone could really confuse people and get people thinking in a different way. So we're very careful to try to give people proper information and to try to educate people the best that we can so they can understand the concept that we're moving forward in building this community. We feel like that the economic system that we have today, the monetary system and the corporate structure that we're up under, has really done a number on the people, not just in this country, but all around the world. And it has indoctrinated the people into a system that has created what we call financial slavery. And I know, the word slavery is a very harsh word, but it's a word that really needs to be said when it pertains to that system. It's been hundreds and hundreds of years of going by this particular system. And because it's been so long that we've been under that type of system, and literally people have been in that system basically their whole lives today. That's the only system that they really know. And so when it's the only system that you really know, then it becomes something as a norm to people. Well, this is just the way that it is. And so this is what we have to deal with. And so I say that because with 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7, it is so drastically different from the system that people are so used to that it's almost ahead of its time. And not only ahead of its time, but it's almost like it's about time. Because in order to get through the system that we're currently in, we have to change and get out of that system in some type of way. And we feel this is the change that is needed. Politicians give us all kinds of lip service about how they're going to help the communities, how they're going to help people, all the promises that they try to put up there to get people to vote for them. And it never comes to fruition. We always have people living in the streets, homeless, people starving, can't get food on the table, people living in poverty, people not able to find jobs. And it's always in a vicious cycle that we get caught up in. And so that system has been propagated in this fashion our whole existence. If you're younger than 95 years old, then this system is the only thing that you know. And it's time for a change. And so we've put this together to create a change. And so in doing that, we know that it's a simple program, but we know it's not going to be easy. Why? Because of the mentality of the people and the things that they've had to endure in a system that is not favorable to them. And we understand that. And so that's why we're coming from a whole different angle here. We're coming from an angle of education. We're coming from an angle of giving, sharing, and accepting. And so I want to attempt to try to go over the concept of what we're doing here. So, because we believe if you understand the concept, then the platform is going to be easy. Okay? And so the first thing I want to do is I want to tell you about what 14 Eagles is and why we're here. But before I go into that, one of the things I want to get cleared up right from the start is I want to tell you what we're not. And so what we're not is a pyramid scheme. You know, anytime that you get involved with any program, and you inviting people or quote unquote recruiting people, or bringing people into the fold, people have a preconceived notion that, oh, that's just a pyramid scheme, where most people don't really know what a pyramid scheme really is. They've just been indoctrinated to think that anytime someone gets into any program and they're putting money into that program, then it's got to be a pyramid scheme. That's just what they're used to. That's what they're used to hearing. So they just, you know, repeat whatever they've heard before, and it just spreads. And so what I want to do is I want to break that myth right now. Okay? And so I'm going to give you a quick definition of what a pyramid scheme is. And it says here, a pyramid scheme is a fraudulent system of making money based on recruiting an ever-increasing number of investors. And the key word there is investors. The initial promoters recruit investors, who in turn recruit more investors, and so on. The scheme is called a pyramid because at each level, the number of investors increase. So that's just a quick definition of a pyramid. But the reason why I wanted to give you the quick version is because in this version, the key word is investors. And seeing any time that you have investors and you're bringing in people where they thinking they're investing money to bring back a rate of return on their money, and the system that they're using is taking money from those investors and then using that money to give back to the first investors, that is what is called a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. All right? So now that's one thing that people have in their mind as a pyramid scheme. So when people say a pyramid scheme, that's the real definition of a pyramid scheme. Now here's the other thing that I want to show you real quick, because as I said, most people throw that word of pyramid scheme or Ponzi scheme around so loosely and don't really know what it really entails. But if you really look at it, when you're working on your job, because a lot of people look at the structure of a pyramid, all right, and just the structure alone, people get that vision in their head, a pyramid, and they think, oh, that's something bad. That's something, okay, that pyramid, that's a pyramid scheme. But they don't realize that they really work in a pyramid scheme. So let's look at this. Corporate America. You really want to see a pyramid scheme, all you have to do is go to your job. Because the structure of your job is the structure of a pyramid scheme. And most corporations is set up like a pyramid. And I should take the word scheme off, but it's just a structure of a pyramid. And so it is just a basic structure showing that, you know, at the bottom of the pyramid is where all the employees are. And as you move up and try to get higher pay and a better position on your job, they have what is called lower management, correct? And seeing the higher up you go, the smaller the number of positions there are. So when you get to lower management, like supervisor or assistant supervisor, things of that nature, then there's less positions for the supervisor position. And then as you go higher into the upper management, there's even less positions than the lower management. And then you get all the way up to CEO, the top person in the company. And that's usually just one or two people or just a very few handful of people. So you figure this structure, this pyramid structure, if you're an employee coming in from the entry level into this structure, what are your chances of getting to the top of that pyramid? If you really think about it, almost very slim to none. Matter of fact, your odds of getting to the lower management is very, very low. All right? And then trying to get to upper management, your odds go down even more because there's fewer and fewer positions the higher you go. So you literally have to wait for someone to move out of position in order for you to go into a position. You see what I'm saying here? Now look at this angle. Say you want to move up in this pyramid structure, and you're a good worker. You do a great job. You're great at what you do. All right? And so the position that you want to attain, someone is holding that position. Now the person who has the position that you want to get, they're trying to get to a higher position as well, right? But here's the thing. When you want to get to the position that you want to get to, when somebody is in that position, and you go to that person to try to get some instruction on how can I get that position, do you think the person that holds that position will tell you everything that you need to know in order to obtain that position? I don't think so. Why not? Because he has to feed his family too. He has to keep his position before he moves up, until he moves up to a higher position. Okay? So he's not going to tell you everything everything that he knows about the position until after he leaves and get a higher position. Because why? He doesn't want you to take his position from him, does he? So he doesn't really have an incentive to teach you everything that he knows. You see what kind of mentality it garners in this type of pyramid structure? And I'm just trying to give you a perspective here, just so to try to get you to think a little bit about what's happening. And then here's another angle that most people don't really think about. Most of the time in these structures, especially at the employee level, you get paid for your time, not for what you do. And I think most people can agree with that. Not in all cases, but in most cases, in this structure, in the corporate world, you get paid for your time. You get paid for the time that you're there, not for the production that you do. So therefore, when you go into this employee level, you're going there to get paid for just being there. Now, when you go there and you learn your job, when you first go into your job, you're trying to be the best employee you can be, right? Because you want to make sure that you can keep your job. But here's the thing. The more you do on your job, the less pay you get. The less you do on your job, the more pay you get. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but that's the way it's set up. Because you only get paid for the time that you're there, not for what you do. So this is what happens to the mentality when you work in this type of situation. Not for everybody, but for the majority of the people, this is what happens. And a lot of times, they don't understand that this is really happening to them. It just happens subconsciously. When you go to the job, and after you've been there for a while, and you know what you're doing on your job now, you know how to get by on the job, guess what happens? You start doing the least amount of work that you can get away with. And you do this subconsciously. You do the least amount of work you can get away with without getting fired. Right? Why? Because no matter what you do on the job, you're going to get paid the same amount of money. Now, why would you want to do less even though you're getting paid the same amount of money? Here's the deal. You and another individual doing the same work, you're busting your tail to do the job above and beyond what is required. Because you're trying to, that's just how you are. You work. That's what you do. And you always you have integrity. You want to work, to do the best job that you possibly can. But the other person next to you doing the same job that you're doing is sitting back with his feet up on the desk, doing way less than what you're doing. But at the end of the day, guess what happens? You both get paid the same amount of money. How fair is that system to you? Is that fair? So no wonder a person goes to his job and do just the bare minimum, just enough so they don't get fired. Right? Because they're going to get paid the same amount of money no matter what they do. That's the pyramid structure in the corporate world. Now, along comes an opportunity called what they call MLM. And MLM has been around for a long time. MLM is multi-level marketing, okay, or network marketing. And it came along, about, 50 years ago, 50, 60 years ago. And it gave people a different perspective on this corporate thing. Because now it gave people an opportunity to be able to work for themselves, so to speak. Gave them an opportunity to be their own boss. And I want you to follow me here. All right? Now, here's that structure. It's the same pyramid, but it's an upside down pyramid. Why is it upside down? Because when MLM started, it gave you an opportunity for you to start your own deal, whatever that is. Let's say you were selling toothpicks. And in there, you sell toothpicks is what you're selling. And if you bring in other people to sell toothpicks, when they sell toothpicks, then you get a cut of whatever they sold. And so the more people you brought in to sell toothpicks, the more money you could make, right? Because you're getting a piece of what everybody sold. And that was very, very, great for a lot of people at the time. A lot of people was getting into MLMs. And see, when you get into a networking pyramid structure, which is an upside down pyramid, as you can see from this structure, you're at the bottom of the pyramid, at the lower level of the pyramid, because you're just getting started. But as you see, as you go up, it's a lot more room at the top, right? And see, and as everyone comes in, it's a room for everybody. You can bring everybody into this structure. And you want to bring everybody in because you get a piece of whatever's being sold. So therefore, you're actually getting paid for what you do, not for just being there. So now you become worth more. I hope you follow me on this. So now, as you bring more and more people in, you have the opportunity to write your own ticket, to make as much money as you possibly can. that gives you a whole different perspective on marketing, on how to make money. So all I'm saying is this. Which pyramid would you want to be in? Because guess what? Every structure is a pyramid structure. Okay? Every corporation, every business is a pyramid structure. It's just there's two different types of pyramid. And it's a matter of which pyramid do you want to be a part of. So when people say, oh, you're in that pyramid thing, technically, they're right. Yeah, we're all in a pyramid thing. But when people say that, they really don't have no idea what they're really saying, because they're really insinuating that you're in some type of pyramid scheme, which deals with investors. And they don't really understand that. So I just wanted to kind of break this down. I didn't want to get too deep into it, but I just wanted to break that down. And I wanted to show you visually what that entails. Because we're all in pyramids. Whether you're working on a job or you're doing business, you're selling a product. We're all in pyramids. So I hope you can understand that. All right? So when somebody says, oh, you're in this pyramid, you're in one of them pyramid things. No, you really don't know what a pyramid is. But see, the reason why I wanted to really show you that is because we've been changing the game on that in 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7. All right? Because in 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7, we're not multi-level marketing. We're not network marketing. We're not a corporate structure. Okay? We're not none of that. We are none of that. First of all, there's no investments here. There's no product to sell. All we are is a community of like-minded individuals coming together to help one another. And let me do it this way so you can get a better perspective of what I'm talking about. Because right here on our team website, our community website, we have a welcome. And I encourage you to go to the website, www.14eaglesden.com, and read the welcome. And it says this: 14 Eagles is a platform that provides like-minded people from all walks of life the opportunity to help one another. 14 Eagles is not a business. It's not a corporation. It's not a network marketing organization. Rather, it's a private invitation-only global community of people who believe in the principle that by helping others in that process, we help ourselves. That's the premise of 14 Eagles. As we give, so shall we receive. 14 Eagles commonly uses a unique online gifting platform that allows members to come together for mutual interest, commitment, and prosperity. 14 Eagles has taken a concept that is actually thousands of years old, giving, sharing, and accepting, and merged it with modern-day technology to create a virtual community, a community that has developed its own economy of peer-to-peer giving and sharing, which provides economic stability to become self-sufficient and self-sustaining. The 14 Eagles community is a bridge used to move people from a debt-based system, formed on selling, buying, and taking, to a collaborative-based system formed on giving, sharing, and accepting. This virtual community creates a paradigm shift in consciousness that inspires people to work together and garners love and harmony on a whole new spiritual level. There is a universal law, God's law. Whatever you give out into the universe, you will get back in abundance. If you are someone that has a heart for giving and genuinely like helping people, then get with the individual who referred you to the 14 Eagles community and let them know you want to be a part of this growing movement to change the world into the place it was meant to be. To register for the 14 Eagles community is free, but to send and receive gifts through the platform, you will need to get a Cash App and an OG Pay account. Get with the member that invited you to walk through that process. Now that's 14 Eagles in a nutshell. We're a community of people that's here to help each other by giving each other gifts. See, we give here. We don't sell. We share information. Nobody's buying anything. And we accept the blessings that we receive. Nobody's taking anything from anybody. That's the difference between the two systems. Our system here, which is a virtual system, a virtual community, versus the real world system, our real monetary marketing system, the capitalism system. All the other isms out there is completely different. I'm just trying to give you a perspective of what we're about and what we're trying to do here. Yeah, I could show you a bunch of numbers and show you the platform and all the gifts that we receive and what you can get every month. Yeah, we can do all of that. Matter of fact, you can go right here on the website. You can go right here to presentation, and it can show you the 14 Eagles presentation. And because we're partnered with Fund Me 24/7 on our campaign, you can go right here and see a presentation on Fund Me 24/7 and Feed Me 24/7. All the numbers are right there. But if you don't know why you're doing it, then that's not going to make any difference. Right? Because, see, what I'm trying to say is it's not really all about the money. It's about people. It's about people coming together to help one another, to get them out of a condition that has plagued them all of their life. See, it makes no sense for less than 4% of the people in the world to control the other 95% of the people in the world. Does that make sense? So we're here to try to change that. And change has to start somewhere. Because the politicians are not making that change. Right? The corporations are not making that change. Why not? Because they benefit from that. They benefit from the system that we're in. So why should they change it? They give you the illusion that they will change it. But has anything changed in your lifetime? They give you the illusion that changes are being made. But has anything really, really changed? And so now with technology going in the path that it's going, we have to learn how to use the technology in our favor. It's time for the people to take control of their own destiny and not leaving it to a system to control us. I hope you hear me. I hope you understand where I'm going. This is what 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7 is really all about. So now we have these platforms that we can use to facilitate us helping each other in a virtual world. See, we're using technology to help us do that. And why do we need to do this? Why do we need to use technology to help us in a monetary way, in a financial way? Because technology are going to soon do the things that you used to get paid for. So if one day they have a technology to do the job that you get paid for right now, why are they going to hire you? And then what are you going to do for your finances? We got to understand where this stuff is going. And we got to come together to protect ourselves and take control. And if technology is going to do that, then we need to use it for our own benefit. And so we have to educate ourselves. And the only people that's going to be able to do that is us. We have to come together and do that. We have to educate each other through giving from the heart, sharing the love, and accepting our blessings. So I hope I hope I gave you something to think about and to show you that, hey, look, this is not a pyramid scheme here. We are very genuine here at 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7. And in our campaign, we're working together in both programs to help people financially. So in Fund Me 24/7, they have whatever project you have, you'll be able to raise funds for that project. See, a lot of people know about the GoFundMe. See, because Fund Me 24/7 has taken the crowdfunding industry and took it to a whole nother level. It's actually going to disrupt that industry because it's taking it to a whole nother level. Now, mind you, there's crowdfundings out there that are doing good work, that's doing good things for people. And the one that most people are privy to is the GoFundMe accounts. Those are the ones that most people gravitate to. But we're taking it, Fund Me 24/7 is taking it to a whole nother level. Because now you're able to get whatever personal project that you have. And you get to raise funds by building your own crowd to raise your funds. And everyone is giving contributions to each other. So they can raise funds for whatever personal project you may have. You may want to get your kids a college fund so you don't have to go into debt trying to send them to college. Or even if you went to college and you created a lot of debt. Or you want to, pay off your college debt. That can be a project. Maybe you got sick or someone in your family got sick and developed a big medical bill. That can be a project. Maybe you need a new roof on your house. That can be a project. Maybe you're just trying to add an addition to your house to raise the value of your home. That could be a project. Maybe you're just trying to pay your home off. That's a project. Any personal project that you have, you can use Fund Me 24/7 to raise the funds. Because what is it? The bottom line is we need to get out of debt, right? Because the system that we're in is all about debt. We're in a debt system. Think about this. If we had a community was cash strapped, I mean cash strapped, you had all the cash you needed and no debt, is there anything that anybody could tell you? Nobody could tell you anything. You're debt-free and got all the cash you need. So what can a politician or a corporation tell you? Nothing. So imagine a whole community like that. Do you think that whole community could literally change the things that they do? People will be trying to move into that community. See, we found that it's a mathematical fact that if a dollar circulates within a community 7 times, meaning everybody in that community touches that dollar 7 times, that community becomes inherently wealthy. And if that community becomes inherently wealthy, there's nothing outside that community anybody could tell that community. This is the vision that we need to have. So look, to give you another perspective about what we're doing here, I encourage you to come to the 14 Eagles website. That's www.14eaglesden.com. Look at these 3 videos right here. Are you a connector? One small town. Your body is an illusion. And I encourage you to watch those 3 videos. And it will let you, it will put your mind into a whole nother perspective about what we're doing here at 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7 and why we need to do this and why you need to do this. Okay? Now, we can't have a community without businesses, right? Because we still need businesses. We need goods and services. That's what a community is all about. That's how we get what we need. And so here at 14 Eagles, we're giving businesses the opportunity to advertise their business to our community. But here's the kicker. How many, if you have a business or if you know someone that has a business, you ask them, what would it cost to advertise their business in the real world? What would it cost them? I tell you, they would tell you it costs a lot of money to advertise your business, because when you have a business, advertising is everything. That's everything. That's the lifeblood of a business, advertising. That's why you have people paying millions of dollars to advertise their goods and services during a major sporting event, because all eyes is on that event, and they want people seeing what they got, right? So advertising is the key in business. Well, guess what? We're allowing people to advertise to our community for free. That's unheard of. All we ask the business to do to advertise on our community, to our community, is to help build the community. That's all we ask. I think that's fair. Not only is it fair, it's an advantage to the business to help build the community that they're selling their goods and services to. Doesn't that make sense? We're trying to change the mentality of how to build communities, how to get out of that debt system and to become debt-free. And we can't do it alone. We can't do it by ourselves. We have to work together to get it done. And we finally got a platform that we can use where we can work together. I hope this is making sense to you. Listen, I want to show you this. This is the little system that we use, the process that we use for our campaign. All you have to do to get involved in our campaign is go to join the Feed Me 24/7 platform. Feed Me 24/7 will help you to educate people about what we're doing here, about the sharing economy. It's a 12-page ebook. Give away for free. Give it to as many people as you can for free and help educate people. 12 pages. They can read it in about 20 minutes. Easy reading. Excellent information. And they just hand that out and start building your crowd. Told you this is a simple process, but it's different. Join Feed Me 24/7. It's only $10. What I'm showing you here, this whole process, is only $16 out of pocket one time. $10 for Feed Me 24/7. You can learn about Feed Me 24/7 on the community website, on the tab that says Feed Me 24/7, and you'll see a little video there that shows you how Feed Me 24/7 works. Very simple program. Also, Carolyn does an excellent job on Monday nights. You want to go on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. She does a Thursday nights, I'm sorry. Thursday night at 7 o'clock. She goes over Feed Me, the Feed Me platform. Very simple stuff. Shows you how that works. Get into the Feed Me 24/7 platform for $10, one time out of pocket. That means you never have to pay $10 again. Then we say, join the 14 Eagles platform. Join the 14 Eagles platform. It's free. You just get in. All you need is someone to invite you in. And when you get in, all you want to do, check this out, 3 $2 gifts to 3 people. Send a $2 gift to 3 people. The platform will tell you what 3 people to send a $2 gift to. All we want you to do is just get a Cash App account so you can send the $2 to the 3 people. And now that puts you in a position to be able to receive $2 as you build your crowd. And Feed Me 24/7, when you start giving away that free ebook and people get involved with the Feed Me 24/7 platform with you, when they do the $10, guess what? You get a contribution of $5. It's a simple process. When you're in Feed Me 24/7, when you enroll into the Feed Me 24/7 platform, you also can enroll for free into the Fund Me 24/7 platform. Carolyn does a presentation on Mondays for the Fund Me 24/7 platform, so you can see how that works. We also have a video on the community 14 Eagles community website that gives you a presentation of how that platform works. Very easy stuff. And when you get connected to Fund Me 24/7, you want to set up your project. You want to know what your project is, what you want to fund your project. Why is that? Because, believe it or not, President Obama put out a law, actual law, called the Jobs Act in 2012, giving you the ability to raise funds through crowdfunding. Now, isn't that special? So now is it a pyramid scheme? All right, set up your project. Fund Me 24/7 is going to have a place on the website where you can set your project up. You're going to be legit, where you can raise funds for whatever any personal project or business project that you have. You have a right to do that and build your own crowd. And if you have a business and you want to advertise your business to the community, then you want to get an ad for your business and submit it to 14 Eagles so we can go ahead and advertise your business on the 14 Eagles website. Now watch this. Now you're in Feed Me 24/7, you're in Fund Me 24/7, and you're in 14 Eagles. You're in 3 different ways to raise funds from 2 different platforms with $16 out of pocket one time. That's unheard of. Now watch this. Once you fill your pod, is a pod that you fill of 6 people. When that pod is filled, you'll receive $30, and it'll go into your Fund Me 24/7 wallet. You use that $30 in that Fund Me 24/7 wallet to activate the silver tier in Fund Me 24/7, which that's going to contribute to 2 other people's projects. So that means once you go into the silver tier, into the Fund Me 24/7, which you didn't pay any money to get involved in, you're helping out 2 other people with their projects. And because you did that, now you have the ability for people to send you contributions for your project. Make sense? This is people helping people. People helping people. You're building your own crowd. And then when you fill your pod again with 6 people, that's another $30. Every time you fill your pod and Feed Me 24/7, it creates another $30 in contributions to you. Well, we say take the other $30 and get into what we call the infinity plan. And boy, when you see the infinity plan, your jaw is going to drop. So make sure you see that video. Make sure you go into the Fund Me 24/7 presentation on Mondays, where Carolyn gives that presentation. Your jaw is going to drop. So now that's a fourth way to raise funds. Make sure you read that ebook so you can understand about the sharing economy and why you're raising these funds. And you're in 14 Eagles sharing gifts with one another. Do you understand there's 4 different ways that you're raising funds in 2 different platforms from the same crowd of people? Unbelievable. I told you this is different. You've probably never seen or heard anything like this before. There's other aspects to it, but this is the basics. We're just trying to get you to understand the concept of what we're doing here. Tonight I did something a little different tonight because I really, really want you to understand what we got here. And I wanted to get this recorded because I want you to get this recording of this webinar and send it to all your friends and family so they can really, really see what we're doing here at 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7. So they can be a part of the change that we're getting ready to make, not just in our neighborhoods, not just in our own families and our friends, not just in this country, but around the world. Yeah, we think big here. You got to think big. The world is hurting. And see, and we're more than just, 14 Eagles is more than just a gifting platform where we can share gifts to one another. We're about education. We're gonna give you information that you don't otherwise get from mainstream media. And the information that you're going to get from 14 Eagles, when you watch the news, you're going to watch it in a whole different way. When you watch a movie or a TV show, you're going to watch it from a whole different, you're going to watch it in a whole different way. You're going to find that your mentality is going to start to change. And you're going to get a whole different perspective on everything that you see. You're going to start to transform. We're here to change the world. And we can only change the world if we change ourselves. We have to change first. So yeah, it's good to have the money, but it's better to have the consciousness and the will to want to go out and make a change. And I want to close with this. You know, there was a story about a gentleman. He tried very hard to become very successful. And it seemed like everything that he did, he just kept failing. Nothing he did ever worked. No matter how many people tried to help him, he said, no, I got this. And every time he tried to do what he wanted to do, he just kept failing. And many people tried to come to him to try to give him some help. But he said, no, I got to do this myself. And every time he went out there to do something, it failed. And he just couldn't figure out. He did everything to the book, to the T, by the instructions, step by step. And he kept failing. Till, you know, when we get in that position, you know, we have to go to the source, right? So he dropped down on his knees and he asked the Creator, he said, Lord, what am I doing wrong? Everything I do, it just falls apart. It just won't work. So the Creator showed him. He showed him a room full of people. And in that room, there were a big long table with people sitting around that table. And that table was full of food. I mean, everything you can think of to eat was on that table. Hot food, smelling good. And all the people that were sitting around the table had a fork in the right hand and a spoon in the left hand. But the spoon and the fork was tied to their hands, and the spoon and the fork was just as long as their arm. So every time the people tried to get something to eat, they couldn't put it to their mouth. They couldn't feed themselves. So the people in this room were starving to death. They were like skin and bones. You could see their ribs coming through their chests. And all that food was sitting on the table. And nobody could eat. They couldn't put it to their mouth. Then he showed them this other room with people sitting around this long table with a bunch of food. Everything you want to eat is on this table. And the people sitting around that table had a fork in the right hand and a spoon in the left hand. And the spoon and the fork was just as long as their arm. But these people were eating good. Oh, they were having a good time. Had food all around their mouth and everything. Just laughing and joking and just eating up a storm. Filling up their bellies. Eating good. Well, what was the difference? Both rooms had the same conditions, but one room was starving and the other room was eating good. Why was that? Because the people in the room where they were starving, they were trying to feed themselves. The people in the room that was getting full, they were feeding each other. Understand what you got a hold of here. If we work together and help each other, we will always be full. Okay? Hey, look, I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the call. I did something a little different today because it was just on my heart to let people know what we're really doing here today, what 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7 is all about. We encourage you to come to our team our webinar. Our website is www.14eaglesden.com. Please, I encourage you, go through the whole website. I'm telling you, if you go through this whole website, you won't look at it the same anymore. I promise you that. And we have more stuff coming. This is just the beginning. But go to the website. Check out the 14 Eagles presentation. Check out the Fund Me 24/7 presentation. The Feed Me 24/7 presentation. The business community. So you can see how to advertise your business. All right? The frequently asked questions. We're here to change lives, y'all. That's what it's all about. So real quick, before I close out, I do want to just, extend the hand and see if anybody wants to say anything, if you have any questions or anything like that. Get this recording. This recording is going to go out tomorrow. So if you're not on our email database, you can go down to the join the newsletter, put in your name and your email to make sure that we get your email information so we can put you in an email database so you can get our email updates and newsletters. All right? Whether you get involved or not, you can do that anyway. Get the information. All right? Is there any questions that anybody may have right now? You can unmute. If you have any comments, you can unmute. We're here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. As you can see, you never know what's going to be said on our Thursday night calls. We're here to change people's minds. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes,
Brian,
ma'am.
this is Carolyn.
Hey, Carolyn.
Great call. Thank you so much. You touched my heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Question is, when will we be ready to go with 14 Eagles? When will it go full-fledged, full force ahead?
Yes. Oh, man. From your mouth to God's ears. We was, as I said when we first started the call, was with the developers last night, and they said it's going to be a process they have to go through because of what they missed when they initially did it. And so hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the early part of next week, but that's not written in stone. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed because these developers, they got their own timetable. And a lot of times they don't know when they're going to finish. So we're at their mercy as it is right now. But hopefully when it does come back, we'll be full-fledged and ready to go. And we're gonna get this train moving and get everybody in the right track here. But I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed and pray every night that they get this thing ready the early part of next week, like Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see. That's all I can tell you right now, unfortunately.
Well, I'm excited and ready to go.
I know you are. I know
you got me on fire.
Okay. And thank you for what you do too, young lady. You're doing a great job. Great job. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? Any questions or comments? We're here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And yes. Did anybody come in? Okay. We're here every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Normally, my partner Greg is here. Um, that's my man. I call him Mr. 14 Eagles. He's been here every step of the way. Um, and one day I'll tell you the story about 14 Eagles. It's a fascinating story. But we're here. We're committed. We're here for the long haul. And we're not going to stop until the world has changed. For sure. Yes. Is there somebody?
Yeah, this is me, Brian.
Okay, Mark Stevens. This is the man from Fund Me 24/7, and he's the one that steers the ship there. And go ahead, Mark.
Phenomenal. Like Carolyn said, you touch my heart as well. Not that you always do that anyway, but a couple things I want to say.
Yes, sir.
I like to encourage everybody that's on the call to really talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to your loved ones, and get them to this call because, see, people say that knowledge is power, but I say it's the use of knowledge that's power because we have a lot of educated derelicts out here. And see, what you get on this call is you get knowledge that people have no inkling about. You won't see it on the news because most of the news is fake news. You won't see it in the newspaper. This is we kind of sometimes like to call it the rabbit hole because it's just like there are alternative stations that you can get real information. But here you get something that you probably never heard before, and you can take that and you can help it get you through life. That's the one thing I want to say because every time I get on, I learn something. And, people think that because certain people are leaders in this or that they know a lot or whatever. You can always learn. It's just, are you willing to listen? And are you willing to take heed? Because life deals you lessons every day. And it's a matter of if you want to learn those lessons to improve your life. And being that Greg is not here, what Greg would say, and I'll say that in Greg's stead, you give from your heart, which is what this platform does. It gives information from the heart. It gives contributions from the heart. You share the love, and you receive the blessings. So come to this call, share the love, receive the blessings, give from your heart, listen. You can contribute to this. Brian gives you an opportunity to say something. That's why he opens it up. And so if you have a question about something, please ask it. No question is a dumb question. You ask a question because you want to know, you want to learn. So I just want to encourage everybody because the time that we're living in, this system is designed for you to fail. It's designed to keep you a financial slave. But I always say there's a difference in being broke and being poor. Being broke is a temporary economic condition, which means you can change it. But being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a distressed condition of the spirit. Half the people in the country, in the entire country, wake up every morning. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get through this or that? Well, if you get the right knowledge and you give from your heart and you share the real love, you definitely will receive blessings. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. And see, I'm going to tell y'all something. That guy there, Mark Stevens, he's the principal of Fund Me 24/7. And when you get involved with Fund Me 24/7, you can rest assured that Fund Me 24/7, you're in good hands when you're in Fund Me 24/7s with him. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say about that. You're in good hands because he's going to make sure that Fund Me 24/7 is going to be here for the long haul. He's done that already. He's already made sure of that. All right. So, anybody else? Any other comments? Any questions? Anything before we close out? Like I said, this video will be going out. It's being recorded, so it'll go out tomorrow. You want to get this? Send it out to people. Let them know what we're about. Let them know what's going on. All right, and let's spread the word, because everybody needs some help, and we're here to help. We're here to help. All right. With that in mind, thank everybody for coming. We're looking forward to see you next Thursday. Don't forget about the call on Monday for Fund Me 24/7, and we do send out an email in reference to that call, and also on Thursday at 7 o'clock before this call on Thursdays for Feed Me. Okay, make sure you get on that so you can see how those platforms work. Uh, and if you don't get an email, you can come to our site, www.14eaglesden.com, and you can click on the Contact Us tab, and it will give you the information on how to get to our site, get to our webinar on Thursday nights. Okay, and make sure you join our newsletter so you can get on our email database, so you can get our email updates and our newsletter that goes out. All right, I'm not going to hold you any longer. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next Thursday night. Good night, everybody.